Alright, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to 5 Minutes of Math. This is the homework for the evening of January 29th, 2018. And we're starting off with a problem that asks us to do the distributive property. So we have -5 times the quantity C plus 15 is less than or equal to 75. So the first thing we're going to do, of course, the distributive property. We're going to multiply that -5 by C, that's -5C, and then -5 times 15, which is -75. Make sure you watch out for your signs. Now right here we're doing the addition property of inequality. We're going to add 75 to both sides because that will allow us to cancel out that -75. We have -5C is less than or equal to 150. Divide both sides by -5. Now whenever we multiply or divide by a negative number, we have to reverse the sign. So we end up with C being greater than -30. So we just put it on our number line as -30 and we shade all the way to the right. Alright, let's move on to the next one. Alright, so we're going on to another problem that has us work through the distributive property. So we have 3 times the quantity, 4b plus 8 is less than 132. So let's multiply our outside terms by our inside terms. Now just because that b is on the inside doesn't mean we treat it any differently. It's just 3 times 4b is 12b. And then we have 3 times 8 is 24. So we have 12b plus 24 is less than 132. So we subtract 24 from both sides, that's a subtraction property of equality, and we end up with 12b is less than 108. Divide both sides by 12. Now, we don't need to change that sign. 12 is positive in this case, so there's no need to adjust that less than. We end up with b is less than 9. That's 108 divided by 12. So open dot on the 9, shade all the way over to the left. Alright, and moving on to number 14. We have 2 distributive property issues here in this problem. 8 times the quantity 2j minus 6 is greater than 2 times the quantity 4j minus 4. So let's take on the left hand side first. 8 times 2j is 16j. 8 times -6 is -48. So what we have in red is our left hand side, 16j minus 48. Now we move on to the right hand side. We have 2 times 4j minus 4. 2 times 4j is 8j. 2 times -4 is -8. Now make sure you pay attention to your signs. We have the completed problem. 16j minus 48 is greater than 8j minus 8. We're going to use the addition property of inequality. One thing I want to point out here is that additive inverse could mean that you're adding an amount to cancel out a negative number like we're doing here, or it could mean that we're subtracting a certain amount to cancel out a positive. Alright, and you'll see that in the next step. So all we do here is bring down that 16j is greater than 8j plus 40. That's -8 plus 48. Now, we're going to use additive inverse, but it's the subtraction property of inequality. We're subtracting 8j from both sides, and that'll cancel out that 8j term on the right, and we end up with 8j is greater than 40. That's 16j minus 8j on the left-hand side. Now, the only step left now is to divide. You're going to divide both sides by 8. That's the last step we're going to take. So 8j divided by 8 is just 1j, or just j. You don't have to write the 1. 40 divided by 8 is 5. So j is greater than 5. Open dot on the 5, shade all the way over to the right, and you are done. Most of these problems just require that you know which properties to use in which order, and that you pay attention to your signs. Alright, and it's very easy to confuse your signs before you mix up a property. So just make sure you're paying attention to what you're adding and what you're subtracting and where your terms are. Alright, that's pretty much it. Thank you so much for listening, and I will talk to you again in 24 hours. Have a good one.